Hi, it's Diane. Welcome to Dynamic Living with Diane. And today I want to talk about getting off of the hamster wheel of your life. So many of us today, that's what we feel like we are, is in a hamster wheel where every day is just wash, rinse, repeat, right? It's the same old till you get to the weekend. People live for the weekend. And I don't feel like that was true for our ancestors, because they lived more in the present moment. So while daily life may have had a routine, I feel like they were more focused on being in the present and being in the moment and the task at hand, and not living somewhere in the past, living somewhere in the future, wishing for things to be different, feeling like something was missing from their lives. I'm not going to say that nobody felt like that across the ages, but I feel like we feel it more today. And especially with social media, where we see, it looks and feels like people are living so much better lives than we are, when it's just because what they're posting is the most exciting and best moments of their life. And maybe what they're posting isn't even real. Today, goodness gracious, how often have you started to read something and realized it was written by AI? Uh, all right. So today, we don't even know what is real, other than what's going on inside of you. And basically, if you want to change your life, if you want it to be different, that change has to start within you. Albert Einstein is famous for having said that you can't create a different life or a different reality with the same mind that created this one, because your outer life is a reflection of what's going on inside of you, your thoughts, your beliefs, the reality that you have created. So you can change it because it comes from within you. It's not from outside of you. Nobody else is doing it. Okay? I listen to my mom all the time say, I don't know why God did this to God. God isn't outside of you. God is inside of you. Okay? You are a co-creator in your life. So there are things you can do to start manifesting a different life. If you have some dream life that you feel is definitely not the life you're living now, then you have to change what's going on in here, because this is what's creating your reality now. If you're struggling financially, that's because of your beliefs around money. Well, there's a ton of books out there. Law of Attraction, The Secret, you know, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay, You Are Worthy by Nancy Levin. There are so many books out there. A Rich Man, Poor Man, there's a ton of books out there to tell you how to do it. I just want to make the point today that you can do it, and to give you some very simple places to start, because that's really what I'm about. It's what I do with my clients. I give you places to start on your journey. It's what I help people do. It's your journey. It's a lifelong, life is a lifelong journey, okay? There's no destination until the day it ends. So we should always be striving to learn and grow. And for me, the people who come to me are usually just totally lost as to how to get started, or have started and gotten to a certain point and don't know how to progress beyond that point. And a lot of us try to progress beyond that point by, working really hard, and we're struggling and we're striving and we're doing all these things and we're pushing and pushing. But what happens when you push is that things push back. Okay? You have to stop pushing. Success isn't about working hard or grinding, struggling, striving. It's not. Life is easier than that. But you have to start with believing that it's easier than that. So there are tools like, affirmations. And you have to say affirmations in the present. So it's not, I want to be healthy and fit. It's, I am healthy and fit. Because the first thing that has to change is your mindset and your feeling. And if you don't feel like you are a healthy and fit person, you're not going to do things that make you a healthy and fit person. You're not going to do the things a healthy, fit person does, right? I eat healthy and I exercise. I am a healthy and fit person. Will make you start doing those things, because that's who you start to believe you are. That's how you start to identify yourself. Anything you say after I am is how you identify. Okay? I am is very popular or very powerful. That's a very powerful 2 words. You have to be very careful what you say after that. Dr. Wayne Dyer used to talk about that. Again, read all of the law of attraction and everything, right? Jesus Christ, I am who am. Well, you are who are, because you are the I am. So you have to change your beliefs about who you are, your identity, in order to start having the world change to fit that. Because when you do that, the world has to change to fit that. Okay? So if that's how you feel, you're struggling, you're on the hamster wheel, you feel like you can't get off the hamster wheel, know that you can. It's very simple. It's very easy. It just takes repetition. I mean, I have my morning prayer and then my morning affirmations that I say every day. And I am becoming those things. And it's okay to be in the process of becoming. All right. We got to start somewhere. But there's only one way to get there. So when you do that, you're going to find you start taking steps. You start eating healthier. You start finding exercise. And exercise doesn't have to be a grind either. I don't advise people go from a very sedentary work 9 to 5 in an office, go home and sit in their recliner and watch TV lifestyle, to running 10K marathons, okay? But if that's a goal you have, that you'd really like to do that, or you'd really like to be able to, hike a place that you've seen other people hiking, and boy, you'd really love to do that, start by taking short walks and expand them. Now, I used to go to a park that was close enough to where I lived, where there was a 1.25 mile track, dirt level track. And then there were trails that went up hills and off, and there were all different lengths and everything. So what I used to do is 5 days a week, I would do the track, and 2 days of the week, and they were not consecutive 2 days, I would take trail walks and go on a different terrain And during the week, I would do 2 different trails. So different lengths, different terrain, you know, because that helps to push you. And that helped push my walks to being able to do more and more around the track and longer and harder trails. So you build, it's kind of like suntan, right? If you go out in the sun after being in the winter, you go somewhere tropical, say on vacation in the middle of winter, and you're all pale white from being indoors for the last couple of months, and you go out and you spend too much time on the beach, you're going to get burned. If you try to exercise too hard, too fast, you're going to burn out. Take it slow and build slowly, gradually. Set new goals for yourself. If you're trying to eat healthy, you can decide to totally switch diets, but like when I went on the paleo diet, because gluten was bothering me, but I found grains in general were still bothering me, because I found out that gluten it consists of several proteins, and 7 of those proteins are in other grains that are gluten-free. So I just started eliminating. As I used something up, I didn't replace it, and I started substituting other things for those. I eventually did things like I substituted zucchini for noodles. I had a spiral cutter that would cut spiral like spaghetti like noodles out of a zucchini. I would cut them flat as lasagna noodles. I started doing a lot of that kind of substitution. So again, make small changes. The book Atomic Habits talks about that. Make a small habit. It's going to ripple out like throwing a pebble into the water, right? It's going to ripple out into other areas. If you want to declutter your house, but you've been, really collecting things for a long time, don't try to tackle the whole thing at once. Take it in small bits. Tackle one corner of a room, or tackle a room. Depends on how bad you're cluttered, right? Clutter is really bad energy for us. Sadly, right now I have a little bit more of it around me than I'd like. It's off camera. It's not much. For a lot of people it wouldn't be bad. It's just things that I have to deal with, and some of that I was going to deal with today, and I can't because my internet has been down all day. So this video is being filmed on my Wellness Wednesday, but might not go up until Thursday if I can't get online to do it, because I don't even have a strong enough signal here at my house to do it on my phone. It's life. You flow with it. And when you start making these changes, flow is something you're going to notice starts happening when you stop striving, when you stop pushing, when you stop trying to force things, grinding, working so hard and feeling like you're getting nowhere, that hamster wheel, right? Then you're going to find doors start opening. When you start relaxing, visualizing, doing affirmations, because that's the other thing, visualizing your goal, what you want your life to look like, right? I used to call that daydreaming. That was all over my report cards when I was in school. Visualizing what your life, will look like in the future. And then you let that go, and you go with the flow and see what doors start opening up for you. See what serendipities start appearing in your life. And you'll find that you wake up one morning and your life has changed. And maybe it took a few years to get there. Maybe it only took a few months. But you'll be amazed that you don't feel that way anymore. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and I would love to help you get started on your journey. And I'll see you in the next one. Much love, much light, many, many blessings. Peace out.